right in the gravel. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Man, I love riding. It's addicting. Okay, everybody. So apparently I've been riding for like the last 10 minutes or something like that, talking to myself, thinking you guys were there with me, and you weren't, because the GoPro battery died, because for some reason it goes from 43 to 0 in less than 5 seconds. So I've been having a great conversation with myself, and I had you in mind, but apparently you just wasn't here, part of the conversation. So sorry about that. I'm just going to check the camera angle and be right back. Alright, for the most part the camera angle looks fine. Good thing I brought those extra batteries, which I didn't think I was going to need. Surprise. But I'm just going to leave my phone set to monitoring the GoPro, so if it does die on me again, at least I'll know. But we had some really good conversations that you just weren't part of. Maybe I'll try to go back and cover those things again. And yeah, we were talking about safety. That was definitely one of them. If you look at where I stopped though, just, ooh, is that a horse or a cow? No, it looks like a cow. Ooh, lots of cows. Moo. Move over. Got some clouds, but I'm not too worried about weather. Got cows. You got a beautiful scenery. So anyway, like I was trying to say, I'm going to start off with trying to be safe, but turning a bike around, because I actually went a little bit further than I usually do, and kind of glad I did. You know, it was just pretty out here. But give me a minute to start my bike again. Alright. I think there was a car coming. Hey, look, there sure was. But I meant that car. So, safety, yeah, that's what we were talking about. Being new to riding, figuring this stuff out, kind of learning as I go. I mean, some stuff is no-brainers, you know, just have a little bit of basic common knowledge or common sense. You can figure out some of the basic stuff. I remember the first bike I had, me and Marianne actually walked it over to the church, and yeah, we walked the bike all the way over to the church, and And then I turned it on. Then I started driving around the church parking lot, just because I felt like it was a safe place to be, and I didn't have to worry about traffic or anything weird like that. And you know, that's probably one of the best ways to learn, is just get the bike somewhere safe where you can test it out without having to worry about cars and other things, you know, popping out of nowhere and you're not even sure how to handle the bike completely. We're going to be teaching Marianne how to ride this bike. She wants to learn. Gravel. That was sketchy. So I'm totally down to teach her how to ride this bike, because I think she'd love it. You know, I know a lot of people who don't really like motorcycles. They think they're dangerous, which they can be. I mean, look at this road right here. This dirt, all this stuff in the road. I could slip real easy. But yeah, that's why we have some more. We have these things on order. You know, we're wearing full face helmets, keeping it safe. Have a tool pouch in back so I can make sure that, you know, moo cows. You know, so if something small does happen, I got some tools with me that I could fix. You know, I have water in the back. I have my phone in front of me, which isn't really a necessity, but it is nice, especially if I have to call for help and I'm not able to dig through my backpack and all that stuff. You know, it's one of those things where you don't think about until you're in that situation, and then you're like, oh crap, now what do I do? We do have comm units, so I could actually push a button on my helmet, connect to my phone, and be able to make a phone call without even taking my helmet off. So if I need a call for help or whatnot, I can do that. I did actually learn, and I kind of knew before, but I never really saw a need for it, but I did learn that you can set modes on your phone depending on what kind you have, to where when you're in certain modes, it'll do certain things. I need to check my backpack. And right in the gravel. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. As soon as my phone connects to my helmet, it puts it into what's called a driving mode. And what that does, or the way I have it programmed, is it's only set to allow certain people to call me. So it was kind of a nice feature to find, to locate. Now let's get out of this gravel safely. So that's one of the ways that I'm trying to be safer. Having this, I got this one because it has a lock on the back to make sure it doesn't just fly off. So you squeeze it in place, then you hit the lock, and it prevents it from moving or going anywhere. So yeah, that doesn't really matter. But again, it's just nice to be able to have it there in case I need to call for help or something. And then let's see, I am looking at let me get going first. So I'm looking into some riding jackets with padding on them, back pads, arm pads, shoulder pads, things like that. So if anything ever does happen, I'll be able to protect myself a little bit more. I mean, it's not going to be a body armor, but it from what I understand, it does help for some situations, and I'd rather have help for some situations than no help for any situation. So we're looking into that. We actually do have something on order right now that is for the brake light, and what it is it's a sensor that will detect if I roll off the throttle. And if you don't know what that means, is when I let off the throttle, the bike will slow down. It'll actually detect that and activate the brake light before I even touch the brakes. Or if I have to do a fast stop, it'll actually flash the brake light, letting them know there's a hazard and I'm stopping fast. And we got that on order just because it's a little bit more security to have that brake light hit a little bit faster than hitting the brake. One of the things I'm not used to is, unlike a car, on this, when you activate your turn signal and you make your turn, it doesn't automatically turn off. So you have to remember to turn it off after you make the turn. Well, I've forgotten before. And if you could imagine you're driving down the street with your turn signal on, and a car thinks you're going to turn, they're going to pull right out in front of you. You know, and that's bad news. So they actually do sell units that can sense what your bike is doing. So if you turn on your turn signal, you make a turn, it'll automatically turn it off for you. I don't have that on order yet, but I'm gonna save up a little bit more to get that installed. But it is one of the things on my wish list to get this bike sooner than later, just so it's safer. But you know, with the brake thing on the way, wearing a full face helmet, I feel a little bit better. Knowing to bring extra gloves and different kind of gloves, that makes me feel better. You know, it's just, I love to ride. I love to do what we're doing right now. You know, beautiful scenery, looking around, enjoying things, just enjoying it. It really is a feeling that you just don't get anywhere else. I'm saying a lot, but also being so new, I have to be safe. I have to be careful because there's things that I may not have thought about. You know, understanding what kind of surface you're riding on. Is it dirty? Is it gravelly? Is it wet? Is there debris in the road? You know, learning arm signals that bikers give each other for different reasons. Studying up on that. Studying up on how to stop fast. You know, unlike a car too, motorcycles have separate controls for separate brakes. So my back brake is a pedal down by my right foot, but my front brake is on the lever on my right handlebar. You know, understanding when to use those, which one to use, and you know, the whole process there. So so a lot of it comes natural to me, but some of it is just a whole new world, because it's just not a car. I mean, that's the best way to put it. You're not in a car, you're not on four wheels, you're on two wheels. So, I mean, safety is one of the things that we're definitely paying close attention to, and we're kind of picking and choosing what items we can get sooner than later, just to make sure that I can make it home, or when Mary Ann's with me, that we can both make it home. So, you know, it's just something to be said. It's also cool too, because when we were riding around a couple weekends ago. We were gone for like 5 hours. Need my ums. We were riding around for 5 hours, and there are bikes everywhere. And what was cool about it is that bikers have this little gesture where they stick their left hand out, where they put their left hand out and do a peace sign down by their leg. And that's just a way to say, keep to it, you know, hello, how you doing, keep your wheels on the ground, things like that. But it's just amazing how you already feel like you're part of a group, because you know there's all these other bikers out here watching out for you, you know. Another thing I learned just yesterday is if you're on a bike and you need help, or if you're in trouble, sometimes you put your helmet behind your bike on the ground, and that's a sign for other bikers to know that you're in trouble and you need help. You know, whether it be you're out of gas or your engine quit or whatever. You know, and recognizing those different things makes it nicer too, because if I could offer one of them help, I am completely going to stop or turn around, do whatever it takes to go back and give them a hand. And because I have a feeling like most of them would do the same thing for me. So, rocks. Addicting.